Welcome to the Databricks Skill Builder series. We're glad you're here.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. You thought you deployed Azure Databricks securely with Cloud Defender or another security scan identified public network access for your storage account as a red flag. You're not alone. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to solve this problem by enabling firewall support for your Azure Workspace storage account. My name is Scott Krzyzbowski. I'm a Senior Specialist Solution Architect here at Databricks, and I'm going to walk you through the steps on how to perform these actions. By default, the Azure storage account for your workspace accepts authenticated connections from all networks, which is why we have an issue. You can limit this access by enabling the firewall support. No more public network access. I want to highlight a note that's in our documentation that we are onboarding all existing workspace storage accounts that have enabled firewalls to Network Security Perimeter, or NSP, which allows the Azure Databricks serverless tag access. This onboarding should be complete by the end of 2026. Won't be a problem for us today because we're going to enable it and get it done right. Before we begin, let's verify a few settings for this workspace. You should have owner or other custom roles with similar permissions on this resource group where Databricks is deployed. You must create a new Azure Databricks Access connector. Can't use the one that's in the Managed Resource group. Your workspace must enable VNet injection. Your workspace must also enable secure cluster connectivity. Must be on the premium plan. And you need to have a separate subnet for these private endpoints that are in the Databricks VNet. Before we jump in, let's take a look at our documentation. Most likely, that's how you found this video, by coming to the documentation. We're going to walk you through all the necessary steps to get this done. We already went through our requirements. Let's take a look at step one. We've got to create some private endpoints for our default workspace storage account. I'm going to come back to our documentation as needed, but just know we're working on step one right now. So let's go into our Azure portal. So I come into our Azure portal. I already have my Azure Databricks service here that we're going to be dealing with. If not, you can just do a quick search up here and find your service. I'm going to open this up, bring us to our overview page. Now, a couple of key points here. We need to keep track of our resource group. We need to keep track of our subscription ID, the region this workspace is located, very important, and our managed resource group. So let's take a look at that managed resource group. You see a few items in here. Predominantly, our storage account is what we're going to be dealing with, but there is that managed identity, which we cannot reuse. So we're going to create a new access connector here very soon. But let's go take a look at the storage account. Now, if you don't already have your settings pane open, go ahead and expand that and come down to networking. All right, here is our problem. Notice public network access enabled from all networks. So we're going to solve that as we go through these steps today. But we need to create a private endpoint. Two, actually. The first one I already created called Blob, saves us some time. We're going to create a new private endpoint for our DFS. Now, here's a gotcha. Pay attention. It pre-populates the resource group to this MRG. That's not going to work for us. We do not have any rights to write or access, I should say, to that resource group. So choose the resource group where your workspace is deployed. In my case, it's the Scott Grizz RG. It also chose the wrong region where my workspace is deployed. So let's go ahead and change that. And we're going to give it a name such as, I'll stay with my same naming convention. So we'll go Scott Grizz, docs, video, -DFS, -private endpoint. So again, let's verify it's in the correct resource group, correct region. Let's go ahead and hit next. We need to pick our target sub-resource, which is going to be DFS. Virtual network is important. We need to choose the virtual network where our Databricks workspace is deployed. In my case, it is in the Scott Grizz Docs Video VNet. It automatically chose a subnet called Private Link. That's the only one available, right? You cannot use these two Databricks subnets because they are already delegated. Hence, it points out incompatible. So I already created this Private Link subnet as part of our prereqs, and I'm going to choose that one. Leave everything as default on the screen. For DNS, next, we're going to choose Private Link DNS Zone. It may show new for you if you haven't done this before. However, we don't have time in this video to cover all of private DNS, so just leave it as the Private Link DFS one. Tags, we don't have any tags to worry about. And we're going to go ahead and review and create. Pass validation. So let's go ahead and create this private endpoint. Now, while that private endpoint is being initialized, let's go back to our documentation and talk about a few other steps. So we're in the process of doing step one now, creating a private endpoint. You scroll down here. I want to talk about step two. If you are using something like Power BI Fabric, you may need to create some private endpoints for the VNet that it's associated with for the Cloud Fetch clients. I am not going to do this during the video. I don't have any requirement for that. I just wanted to point this out. We're going to come to step three, which is confirming our endpoint approvals. Right? Once that's done, we're going to go verify that that private endpoint was created. And then we're going to create a new access connector till we finally get to the actual step to enable this firewall support. So let's go back to the Azure portal, see how we're doing. Good. Our deployment is complete. We have our private endpoint created. I'm going to pop back to our main homepage and just open up our workspace again. So again, we've got our managed resource group. Let's go verify that that private endpoint exists. Again, we're going to click on our storage account, open up our networking tab on the left, and take a look at our private endpoints. We now have two of those private endpoints. They are approved state, so we are good to go on that. Let's go back to our overview page, take a look at our resource group. Now, I would recommend you create this access connector in the same resource group that the workspace is deployed in, because one, you already have permissions in this workspace, in this resource group. I created one earlier called Scott Greer's Docs Video Access Connector. So in order to create one, it's very simple. We hit the create button. We start typing the word access connector for Azure Databricks, and just follow the steps here. We have a choice of system assigned, which I chose, or you can use a user assigned managed identity, either one. I chose system because it's quicker, right? So just create a new one. But in our case, I already have one ready to go. Let's come back here. Let's take a look at that resource group again. We're going to need to get the access connector resource ID. So open up your access connector once it's created. And if you notice here, we've got our resource ID. So copy that. Go ahead and paste it into a document. I already have one off the side that you don't see on my screen to start building up our command. So we need that resource ID. So that's important. We got our access connector created. We can finally get down to the step of enabling our firewall support. Let's go back to our documentation, take a look at our step here. In my case, I'm going to use the PowerShell support because I have access to the Cloud Shell in Azure. If you do not, you may have to use Bash and use the Azure in Azure CLI. But I do have access to PowerShell, so I'm going to be following these procedures down here. If you notice, we do have two steps in here, one for a system assigned and one for a user assigned. As I said earlier, I'm using system assigned. So go ahead and copy this, put it into a notepad on another screen and start building out your commands. So I did that earlier. So a couple things we need. We need the workspace name, resource group, subscription ID, and the access connector resource ID. So let's come back into our portal. The first thing we need is our workspace name. The easiest way to get that is just come up here in the overview page and copy that name. So that is our workspace name. Again, our resource group is this. Copy our resource group. We need our subscription ID. Go ahead and copy that. Those are all the parameters we need to build. So go ahead in your notepad, go ahead and build out that AZ command. I already did that. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up a PowerShell, a Cloud Shell, I should say. And once you have your command built with all your necessary parameters, we're going to head and paste it into our command PowerShell. Okay, so I have the command ready to go. I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste it into this window. So again, these have all the parameters I need for my particular workspace. I have the name, I have the resource group, subscription ID, and our access connector ID, and a few other settings such as system assigned and enabled. All right, I'm going to go ahead and run this. And as this command goes, we'll be able to come back once it completes. It should take 2 to 5 minutes. With the magic of video editing, we should be able to immediately see success. So as I mentioned, it took a few minutes to run this command. We are now back with the magic of video editing, you see that this command succeeded. We now have a success criteria that we enabled default workspace storage. I'm going to go ahead and close our Cloud Shell window. We don't need this anymore. Let's come back to our Databricks workspace. Again, we're looking at our overview page. If I come into the Managed Resource Group now, earlier you did see this NSP, right? This is the new procedure as we highlighted in the note. So it automatically created a network security perimeter that allows your serverless resources access to the storage account. But if we come into the storage account itself, I want to highlight what occurred. Again, networking on the left. We now see that public access is not enabled from all networks. It is enabled from selected networks. We also notice that there is some virtual networks associated now with this account. And if I were to open this up, manage on these virtual networks, you now see that it is enabled from selected networks. It is not all public. The Databricks virtual networks are there. And you see that access connector has now been assigned permissions on the storage account. So now we have successfully enabled default workspace storage account. Your Cloud Defender or other security scans should no longer throw that as a red flag. So congratulations. Thank you for watching. Please check out our Databricks documentation for any other information.